You guys should be a squad of 5, right? The captain, Bindi, looked towards LuoFeng's group of 4. As one of the 2 universe-level fighters in the 3 Axe Mountains camp in the world within a world, Bindi received detailed information. There were 5 before, but one of them has already died, sighed LuoFeng. Who killed him? Frowned Bindi. The 9th prince's men. LuoFeng wasn't feeling good. LuoFeng's mood wasn't very good. Even though Tai Nan he was a slave, there weren't any slaves on Earth. Therefore, LuoFeng subconsciously didn't treat the slave army as goods, but as bodyguards. So Tai Nan he's death touched LuoFeng's loyalty, but he was also angry towards the 9th prince. 9th prince? Bindi shook his head. Then there's nothing we can do. Too many people have died under his command. We understand, nodded LuoFeng. Lord Ming, you will be very happy if you guys can leave this place alive, smiled Bindi. Just a reminder, I'm also under Lord Ming Yu's command. Oh. LuoFeng, Hong and Thunder God were all shocked. As the leader of the 4 organizations, the 3 Axe Mountain does indeed have many powerful sector lords and domain lords. Ming Yu isn't one of the strongest in the 3 Axe Mountain, but one of the 2 universe-level fighters that came out of the 3 Axe Mountain is under Ming Yu's command. So Captain Bindi is also under Lord Ming Yu's command. LuoFeng let out a face of joy. Haha, when we leave the world within a world and return to SwallowedStar, you guys will come with me to see Lord Ming Yu, smiled Bindi. If it weren't for the fact that they have a common boss, Lord Ming Yu, Bindi wouldn't have personally come to see LuoFeng and the others. Definitely, smiled LuoFeng as he replied. After that, Bindi left. As one of the higher-ups of the 3 Axe Mountains camp, Bindi has a lot of things to take care of. Even though it was late at night, many people wearing battle uniforms and helmets could often be seen entering the Thunder Castle in the center. LuoFeng, Hong and Thunder God were in the crowd as they looked towards the Thunder Castle in the center. Big brother, second brother, what are you guys going to exchange for? Asked LuoFeng through his spiritual force. A D6 grade rail cannon and a lightning technique, said Thunder God. All right. LuoFeng smiled. That was how rich and overbearing people were. They would buy whatever they liked. Big brother, what about you? LuoFeng looked at Hong. Those that are of great use to me don't seem to be much. You have a fruit of life, help me buy one. Also help me buy a star heart, if you have one. Let's forget about the others for now. Hong said. Understood. LuoFeng nodded, revealing a smile. Big brother, second brother, then with the remaining Thunderstones I'll exchange them for other treasures. Those treasures also represent huge amounts of wealth. When we get out, we'll use the wealth to buy some items we truly need. Sure. Hong smiled. Third son, do as you see fit. After all, you were the one who brought all these here. Thunder God laughed. Big brother and I are just taking advantage of you. LuoFeng wasn't in a rush to immediately exchange for it. Instead, he silently observed. There were indeed quite a few people entering the Thunder Castle. However, 99% of them were probably just there to confuse others. The night slowly passed, the world within a world had a glimmer of light. The cold wind blew across the entire plains. Dressed in an alloy armor, carrying an alloy blade on his back and wearing a helmet, LuoFeng, who was dressed like a universe explorer, headed straight towards the Thunder Castle. He's gone to the castle. Is he trying to confuse people, or is he really going to exchange? Don't care if he's really going to exchange or not. Hurry and report to the Lord, that 4-man team leader has gone to the castle. Yes. The adventurers under the 9th Prince's command immediately reported the news to their superiors. Regarding this, LuoFeng was completely clueless. However, even if he knew, LuoFeng would probably just laugh in disdain. In this allied camp, within the 3 Axe Mountain army, LuoFeng really wasn't afraid of anything. Under the watchful eyes of the allied army, LuoFeng stepped into the castle. Thunder Castle within a cold, ancient room. LuoFeng stood quietly. I want to exchange for treasures. LuoFeng shouted. Little punk, wait a moment. A low voice resounded within the ancient room. These 2 days there's been a lot of people exchanging for treasures, so I'm quite busy. I'll finish this one first. LuoFeng was shocked as he heard, that living AI is currently receiving another person? Sinister, sinister. Babata howled. What's wrong? LuoFeng thought. This living AI is indeed sick, a sinister bastard. Babata said angrily, even though the allied army often has people entering the castle, it's only one every few minutes. That's already a lot. Isn't this living AI basically telling you, that person who entered the castle before you, is exchanging for treasures? LuoFeng was shocked. You have no power or authority, but if you're one of those people with authority and control those teams, what would you do? What will you do? Babata asked. I'll arrange for people to watch him, wait for him to leave the allied army camp before making a move. LuoFeng's eyes were filled with shock. I understand. That's it. This living AI is indeed sinister. As a living AI, can't he predict the outcome of anything he says? His calculation ability is extremely shocking. He wouldn't make such a low-level mistake. This can only mean one thing, he's doing this on purpose. He's doing this with one goal in mind, to make you guys kill each other. This artificial intelligence is truly treacherous. Babata cursed. LuoFeng also felt a wave of anger. If his guess isn't wrong, the reason why he was chased by the 9th Prince Luolin was most likely related to the living AI in the castle. Otherwise, there's no way to explain why the great 9th Prince didn't go after the other people who entered the castle, but chose to go after LuoFeng's group. The sound of footsteps carried from the hallway. A fat old man with a white beard smiled as he walked in. His body was surrounded by a layer of light. If one were to observe carefully, one would be able to barely notice that this old man wasn't a real person, but an energy body formed from energy. Lord Wu. Even though LuoFeng was a bit angry inside, he was still very polite on the outside. Fighting with a sick, living AI that's been lonely for millions of years is a very stupid thing to do. Kid, this is the second time we've met. The white-bearded old man smiled. Looks like you've gotten quite a bit. Speak, what do you want to exchange for? 1 life fruit. LuoFeng said. You exchanged for a life fruit last time and you're doing it again? The white-bearded old man looked at LuoFeng with shock. Yes. LuoFeng nodded. No more, no more. The white-bearded old man shook his head. All of my life fruits have been exchanged. Not a single one is left. Not a single one? LuoFeng froze. That's right. Thunderstones represent treasures, but that doesn't mean that you'll definitely be able to exchange for the treasures you want with Thunderstones. Because the treasures here are limited. Like that 9th prince, Bu Luo Lin, no matter how many Thunderstones he exchanged, he wouldn't be able to get the inheritance crystal ball's 3rd password. Then I'll exchange for the Heart of Stars. LuoFeng said. That's all. Babata shook his head. What? That's all? Then, there should be a D6 grade rail cannon, right? LuoFeng stared at the white-bearded old man. A D6 grade rail cannon to sector lords and domain lords isn't very valuable. The chances of exchanging for it are very low. And there are a total of 3 D6 grade rail cannons here. That's all. The white-bearded old man shook his head. This D6 grade rail cannon was bought by one person on the first day. LuoFeng took a deep breath. He didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have anything. Lord Wu, what other treasures do you have? LuoFeng looked at the white-bearded old man. After exchanging for so long, there are still 63 treasures left. The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at LuoFeng. I like you, so I won't waste your time. As he said that, he waved his hand. Immediately, streams of energy gathered around him, forming a screen. On the screen was a list of treasures, which clearly showed the number of treasures remaining. Number 1 full set of Space Technique Inheritance Crystal Balls bank account, 3 accounts, stock, none. Number 2 Master's bank account, stock, none. Number 3 Domain Lord level Bloodline Medicine, 1 portion, stock, none. Number 18 Thunder Technique, 6 portions, stock, 5 portions. Number 68 Level 5 Genetic Energy Weapon Skyfire Wheel, 1 portion, stock, none. LuoFeng looked at this list and took in a deep breath. My god. None, 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 none. A bunch of nuns, it was simply chilling. Little punk, what do you want to buy? Choose. The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at LuoFeng. LuoFeng was a bit troubled. What should he choose? LuoFeng, why are you so stunned? Stupid. Babata's voice resounded. You want the Heart of Stars? There's none here, but there are in the universe. You want the life fruit? There are some in the universe too. As long as you have enough wealth and through some special channels you can buy them. So, you don't have to stare. You only need to exchange the most cost-effective of these treasures. These treasures represent a huge amount of wealth. In the future you can just buy more treasures in the universe? Babata said. LuoFeng couldn't help but laugh. Such a simple logic, yet his thoughts were limited by the list. These are the most valuable, I recommend you to buy these. Babata communicated with LuoFeng mentally, telling him which ones to buy. This, that. And these, I want them all. That Thunder Technique, there's still 5 portions left, I want them all. LuoFeng was rich and overbearing. The white-bearded old man was dumbfounded. Because those who had a lot of Thunderstones would usually buy them right from the start. The later it got, the people who came to exchange wouldn't have too many Thunderstones. And LuoFeng wanted so many in one go, the amount of Thunderstones he needed was a shocking amount. A total of 9.02 million Thunderstones. The white-bearded old man stared hard at LuoFeng. Exchanging for treasures in the Thunder Castle at the very beginning, the leaders of the large organizations like the 9th Prince would bring a few million Thunderstones, or even tens of millions of Thunderstones to exchange. This wasn't weird. However, the later it got, the earlier the Thunderstones were exchanged, hence there were very few large exchanges in the later stages. Lord Wu, this is 9.02 million Thunderstones. LuoFeng flipped his hand and a space ring appeared in it. The fat white-bearded old man extended his hand and received it. After checking, he couldn't help but look up at LuoFeng. Little punk, you're really making me more and more surprised. I can see that you don't have much power in the Allied army. Along with the last exchange, you've already taken out over 10 million Thunderstones. Luck. LuoFeng smiled. There are some things that luck can't explain. The white-bearded old man smiled and didn't say much. After which, he flipped his hand and immediately various treasures floated within the ancient house. In an instant, all sorts of universe origin law energies emanated outwards. There were many level 5 genetic energy weapons and spirit weapons. These weapons had incredibly profound and complicated engravings on them, similar to the natural engravings on the golden horned beast. The thick origin law energies made LuoFeng suffocate. Every one of them was an astronomical treasure. Every one of them could be exchanged for tens of thousands of life planets, even hundreds of thousands. All these treasures added together far exceeded the value of a galaxy. Compared to a sector lord that had just stepped into the sector lord level, their value was much higher. Who? Luo Feng looked at the astronomical treasures floating before him, his heartbeat sped up uncontrollably, his blood boiling. I've kept all these treasures in this space ring. The white-bearded old man threw a space ring to Luo Feng. Luo Feng received it and checked the treasures within, creasing his eyebrows. Lord Wu, where are the 5 thunder techniques? The 5 thunder techniques are stored separately in the 5 quantum computers. The white-bearded old man smiled. Thank you, Lord Wu, then I'll leave first. Luo Feng cupped his hands and left. On the vast plains, the Allied army base's numbers had already exceeded 500,000. Obviously the other teams that were outside were all returning. LuoFeng's exchange was successful. His mood was extremely good as he left the ancient castle and returned to the 3-Axe Mountain camp. 30. Thunder God saw Luo Feng return, waving and shouting. You're here. Luo Feng laughed as he walked over. How is it? Hong asked cautiously with a wisp of expectation in his eyes. We came too late. All the good stuff has already been exchanged. Whether it's the D6 laser cannon, the Fruit of Life, or the Heart of Stars, all these rare treasures are gone. Luo Feng communicated mentally. He had no choice but to be careful, as he was currently within the army. There were many other people from the 3-Axe Mountain around him. All gone. Hong and Thunder God were stunned. Yes. As for what you wanted, I've gotten my hands on 5 sets of lightning secret techniques. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at Thunder God. Second brother, this thunder technique is a secret technique from the dead sector Lord Kubo. It's not bad for you to learn it. Among the treasures, this lightning secret art was not considered precious. After all, Realm Lord Kubo was only a realm lord. Some of the absolute arts that he comprehended were not that strong, compared to the inheritance crystal ball. If it was an undying being secret technique, then that would be incredible. LuoFeng's Yun Mo planet secret technique was much stronger than the thunder technique. Of course, in the path of thunder the Yun Mo planet might be weak. After all, the Yun Mo planet specialized in spirit readers. Haha, let me have a look. Thunder God couldn't help it, he trained in the path of thunder after all. Don't rush. Hong communicated mentally, there are many eyes around. If someone finds out, there might be some trouble. After we leave the world of thunder, you can slowly look at the thunder techniques. And training in these techniques isn't something that can be done in a short period of time. Alright, I'll listen to Big Brother. Thunder God was clear-headed. Big Brother, second brother. Luo Feng said, even though I've exchanged, I still have 60,000 Thunderstones left. You still have so many left? Hong and Thunder God were stunned. Hong said, we can't waste these Thunderstones. Since we can't exchange them, hurry and sell them. Once we leave the world within a world, the Thunderstones will be worthless. Right now in the Allied army, there are still people buying Thunderstones. Even though the prices aren't as high as when we first started, we'll sell for as much as we can. Luo Feng communicated mentally, Big Brother, second brother, will be in the army these 2 days. If we see anyone buying, we'll have a good talk and see how much we can sell for. All right. Hong and Thunder God nodded. In the next few days, the army on the plains grew in numbers, and Luo Feng took the chance to sell the 60,000 Thunderstones in batches. Because even the dealers couldn't swallow so many in one go. Because at the end of the exchange period, the treasures within the castle were few and far between, the Thunderstones exchange prices fell greatly. The 60,000 Thunderstones were sold at varying prices. The average price was about 80 cubic meters of universe crystals per Thunderstone, selling for a total of 5 million cubic meters of universe crystals. Adding in the universe crystals that the Cloud Contact Vine stole from the ambush, and the ones that Luo Feng and the others dug up, there was a total of 6.8 million cubic meters of universe crystals. 6.8 million cubic meters of universe crystals, that's 6.8 billion universe dollars. Even that Newland Shan family doesn't have that much wealth. Thunder God was very proud. Calm down, this is just a small change. Hong joked and laughed, the bigger part is those treasures. Of course I understand. Thunder God smiled. Luo Feng's mood was extremely good too. The huge treasure trove in the world within a world. According to logic, it should only be acquired by the few large organizations and powers. However, with his precise scanning, he had dug out his first bucket of gold, acquiring over 1 million Thunderstones. Relying on his first bucket of gold to acquire the life fruit, it allowed the Cloud Contact Vine to undergo a super evolution. Relying on the evolved Cloud Contact Vine in Babata, he had a super huge looting. In terms of rewards, many 10,000-man teams couldn't even catch up to Luo Feng's team. The only ones stronger than Luo Feng's team were the 9th Prince Brolin and a few allied teams. However, the truly valuable items within the treasure trove like the Inheritance Crystal Ball's 3 accounts, the Sector Lord's bank account password, the Domain Lord level bloodline medicine etc., among the top 10 treasures, Luo Feng had only acquired one of the 3 life fruits, the others were nothing. The 5th day after Luo Feng's exchange. On the plains, close to 600,000 allied troops gathered around the castle, white light shone down on the ground. Haha, little punks. In the air above the Thunder Castle, the white-bearded old man's silhouette appeared. He stood in the air above the castle, gazing down at the allied troops surrounding the castle, full of smiles. Just now, my last treasure has been exchanged. From now on, my 312 treasures have all been exchanged. Right now the exchange has ended. Rumble. The ancient castle's huge doors automatically began to close. Around the castle, the hundreds of thousands of allied troops were all stunned. Ended? The exchange had ended? I still have Thunderstones that I haven't exchanged for. I still have more. The Thunderstones I just bought, what do we do? Immediately within the allied troops, many were flustered and exasperated, some even angrily roared. To these star level 9 warriors, the Thunderstones in their hands originally represented a huge fortune that made them dumbstruck. However, in the blink of an eye, the Thunderstones had become useless rocks. The moment they couldn't exchange for them, the Thunderstones were practically worthless. Some were angry, some were shouting, some were happy. However, the treasure trove of the world within a world had ended. I reckon that castle definitely has more treasures. Thunder God looked at the castle. There are, but they aren't ours. Hong revealed a rare smile. A castle left behind by a sector lord? It definitely isn't that easy to break through. The world within a world journey has ended. LuoFeng smiled too. Suddenly, not too far away, a messenger soldier ran over, shouting, "LuoFeng, I'll inform you all, the treasure exchange has ended. In a while, our 3-Axe Mountain army will be moving out. Leaving the world within a world, going to the world of thunder, from there, returning to SwallowedStar." Understood. LuoFeng shouted. Also, the allied troops forbid killing. However, the moment they move out, the return route of the various armies won't belong to the allied troops, hence there's a possibility of battles happening on the way back. Be careful, don't leave the main group. The messenger said. Understood. Thanks. LuoFeng and the others smiled as they replied. This was something they knew long ago. The so-called, the allied troops forbid killing, was actually for the various armies to safely exchange for treasures. After the treasure exchange ended, the various armies returned. Some had huge gains, some had very little. Teams with very little gains teamed up and began robbing other teams. This wasn't strange. Anyway, we're following the 3-Axe Mountain army. LuoFeng smiled. 3-Axe Mountain has close to 80,000 people here and 2 universe levels. It's still very safe. We'll just stay at the back. Thunder God revealed a smile. There's only 4 of us and we're all direct subordinates under Lord Mingyu. We don't need to be at the front. Indeed, the first batch of people from 3-Axe Mountain that entered the world within a world all stayed at the core of the main army. And the main army had never thought of using this 4-man team. After all, a 4-man team was too weak, and, when they deployed their troops, it was usually done in groups of 1,000 with a 4-man team in the middle. It would instead affect their deployment. The North Dragon City army has moved out. In the eyes of the other allied armies, a vast army uniformly rose into the air, covering the sky and covering the sun. Tens of thousands of people immediately flew into the distance. 3-Axe Mountain, everyone listen to my orders. Move out. A low voice resounded from the center of the 3-Axe Mountain army, the large ape man, resounding in everyone's ears. And within the vast army, LuoFeng, Hong, Thunder God and Aogu, the 4 were naturally part of it. Let's move out. LuoFeng and the other 3 rose into the air at the same time. The vast army of close to 80,000 people, much more than the North Dragon City army. 80,000 people flying in the air, what kind of concept was that? Just like an infinitely large dark cloud, covering the entire sky, even the planes became pitch black. They became countless beams of light, swiftly flying into the distance. The allied army camp. The 9th Prince Luo Lin looked at the vast army of the 3-Axe Mountain, flying into the distance. Your Majesty. A bodyguard beside him said, are we still not leaving? Don't rush. Luo Lin said coldly, everything, I have my own plans. Yes. The bodyguard didn't dare say more. Luo Lin thought to himself, are we going to fight or not? Grandpa, please give me an order. Now that the various parties are leaving the allied army camp, we can start fighting. The vast universe encompassing everything mysterious and unfathomable. Flesh and blood life forms included humans, beasts, etc. There were also metal life forms, plant life forms, energy life forms, AI life forms, etc. And in terms of danger, white dwarfs and neutron stars were the most common. There were also many incomparably dangerous regions. Similarly, there were many mystical items called treasures. Some treasures had miraculous effects on flesh and blood life forms, while others had miraculous effects on other life forms. In this vast universe, there was a starfield called Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. And within the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, the SwallowedStar had become the focal point of the entire starfield during this period of time. Many super strong warriors had descended upon this place. SwallowedStar cities were split into ancient cities and new cities. Many of the ancient cities had millions of years of history, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance's camp was in one of the ancient cities. This ancient city's tallest skyscraper, a skyscraper that was about 8,600 meters tall, had a huge hall on the top floor, with a space of more than 1,000 square meters. In such a huge hall, there were only 2 wide wooden chairs facing each other. In front of the chairs there was a tea table. The 2 chairs facing each other each had a person sitting. On one side sat a handsome godlike face, his eyes flashing with lightning, an absolute warrior. 3-Axe Mountain Sector Lord Jiang Tianqin. And on the other side sat a bald eagle-nosed old man with a pair of strange pupils. Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Lands Sector Lord Hargray. Between the 2 of them, Jiang Tianqin had a lightning mark between his eyebrows, while Hargray had an ice mark between his eyebrows. Although the 2 of them did not display their true strength, the entire hall was under the influence of the lightning origin and the ice origin. Jiang Tianqin, I cannot agree to your conditions. Hargray's voice was hoarse, like 2 blades rubbing against each other. You will change your mind, Jiang Tianqin said indifferently. The 2 of them were existences at the pinnacle of world overlords. In the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, they were existences that stood at the pinnacle. The only one stronger than them were undying. The ninth Prince Luo Lin was Hargree's grandson. It was because of Hargree's strength that the ninth Prince Luo Lin had such power. After all, the emperor had many princes, and most of the princes were destined not to inherit the throne, nor did they have many privileges. However, Luo Lin possessed astonishing power because of his mother's bloodline. I can only agree to 6 of them. Hargree's gaze was sharp as though it could pierce through space. Jiang Tianqin, if you agree, then it'll be a happy ending. These 9 conditions, not one less. Jiang Tianqin shook his head. If you agree, I'll give you the last password of the inheritance crystal ball. Hargrey couldn't hide the anger on his face. At the same time, within the virtual universe, Abu, dressed in a black and gold long robe, the bald eagle-nosed old man Hargrey instantly appeared within a palace. Within the palace, Luo Lin stood there in a daze. Grandfather. Luo Lin's eyes lit up. Should we make a move? If we delay any longer, we might not make it in time. Do it. Hargrey said softly. Make a move on the 3-Axe Mountain troops, kill their leader and take their quantum computers. Let's see if we can find the record of the last password in their optical computer. The password obtained from the Thunder Castle was naturally recorded in the quantum computer and sent into the virtual universe to inform the sector Lord Jiang Tianqin. Understood. Luo Lin's eyes lit up, with a hint of excitement and madness. Grandfather, don't worry. Hargrey rubbed his grandson's head dotingly. Luo Lin was very obedient. He was very clear that the privilege he had amongst the many princes was all given to him by this grandfather of his. Even the royal family looked at strength. With a sector lord as a grandfather, his position was obviously different. And if any of the princes could become a sector lord, they could immediately sit on the throne. World within a world, the Allied army base. Depart. With one order, the Black Dragon Mountain sacred land had a total of 150,000 survivors, of which there were only 60,000 that listened to the ninth prince. And with one order from the ninth prince, 60,000 of them rose into the air and swiftly left. The 60,000 flew towards the border region, and after 2 days of flying, the army rested at night. Your Majesty, these are the 2,000 elites we picked out. A bodyguard said respectfully. Oh. Luo Lin looked at the 2,000 standing before him. Very good. Luo Lin smiled, waving his hand. Immediately a disc-shaped universe ship appeared in the empty space beside him. Yes. His space ring was just enough to store one ship. Arrange for them to enter the ship's cabin lower deck. Luo Lin said. Yes. His 8 bodyguards immediately began to make arrangements. The interior of the spaceship was divided into upper, middle, and lower levels. Each level was at least 10 meters tall, so there were many rooms in the cabin. Some of the beds were even made up of 4 layers of beds. A room that was only a few dozen square meters as it was 10 m tall, it could fit 8 people within and it wouldn't be too cramped. The entire ship, accommodating 2,000 people, was extremely easy. Your Majesty, the 2,000 people have all been arranged. Depart. Luo Lin was in high spirits. With one order, the ship immediately rose into the air, swiftly breaking through the skies and chasing after the 3-Axe Mountain army. The army's flying speed, how could it match the universe ship's speed? Within the universe ship control room, the ninth Prince Luo Lin stood in front of the control board. Behind him stood 8 bodyguards. Master, to the 3-Axe Mountain army, there's still 120,000 kilometers. 100,000 kilometers. 80,000 kilometers. 60,000 kilometers. The control board screen emitted an electronic sound. We're about to make contact. 20,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers, 5,000 kilometers. The ship decelerates. Scan the 3-Axe Mountain army, confirm the locations of the 12 important targets. Luo Lin ordered. Yes, Master. This D8 grade universe ship scanning range was a full 200,000 kilometers. It easily scanned the entire 3-Axe Mountain army. Immediately the electronic sound resounded. The 3-Axe Mountain army has a total of 78,503 people. The 12 important targets are at. A huge virtual screen appeared within the ship. On the screen, a vast army appeared. Within it were 12 dots of light. Simultaneously, 12 heads appeared on the left side of the screen, of which there were 2 universe levels, a few captains, and shockingly one was LuoFeng's head. Use 3D6 grade laser cannons to bombard their army, causing them to be in chaos. Don't attack these 12, they all have treasures, and their AI computers may even have passwords. Destroying them would be a waste. Arrange for another 12 people, use the laser guns and kill these 12. After that, during the chaos, the army will descend and swiftly steal their treasures. Especially their AI computers. Luo Lin said coldly. Yes. The 8 bodyguards bowed respectfully. The C2 grade laser guns, even though Luo Lin only brought 9 at the start, when the 2 million army entered the world within a world, they brought quite a few of them. Gathering 12 now was indeed easy. Go. Luo Lin's voice was suppressed, but his eyes were filled with excitement. The vast army of the 3-Axe Mountain flew through the air. LuoFeng and his team were mixed within the crowd, chatting and laughing, their moods extremely good. 30, we've earned this much. Even if we train to the domain lord level, we won't have to worry about money. Thunder God laughed. Don't get carried away. Hong laughed. LuoFeng however communicated through spirit energy. Everyone be careful, my scanning device has detected. There should be a large scanning system scanning our area. Large scanning system? Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu were all shocked within. Luo Feng nodded, his expression serious. Everyone be careful. Luo Feng and his team became cautious. The entire Three-Axe Mountain army was discussing and laughing. Rumble. 3 beams of black light immediately descended within the Three-Axe Mountain army like 3 black holes. Luo Feng and his team only felt the entire world go silent. Without a sound or presence, they could only see the distant point of impact tremble violently. The hundreds of star level 9 warriors immediately turned into nothingness, and the tremble produced a shockwave visible to the naked eye, spreading in all directions. Wherever it passed, large numbers of soldiers were shaken to death, fresh blood seeping out from their armors and helmets. The shockwave was silent at first. After killing everyone within a 100 m radius, only then did it become rumbling, causing large numbers of explorers to spit out fresh blood and suffer heavy injuries. Rumble. Just one cannon shot. Thousands of people had died. This had something to do with the concentration of the army. This. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed, completely stunned by that terrifying cannon shot. Chi. Luo Feng felt as though someone had smashed his head with a stick. 12 beams of white light descended from the sky. In an instant, it struck the entire Three-Axe Mountain army of 12 people, including the 2 universe-level warriors, including the captains, including Luo Feng. 12 beams of white light. 12 people fell on the spot. 30. Luo Feng. Master. Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu were all shocked awake. Luo Feng, who had fallen on the ground, opened his eyes dizzily. This? LuoFeng's mind was still rumbling. That was 12 beams of C2 grade laser light. The other 11 people of the Three-Axe Mountain, including the 2 universe level 1 warriors, were all killed. Only you relied on the cloud contact vine to block it. Babata's voice resounded in LuoFeng's mind. What? Luo Feng was shocked as he looked around. Rumble. It was as if the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. A huge spaceship suddenly appeared in the sky, and at the same time, the bottom of the spaceship automatically split open. A large number of adventurers wearing black battle suits tilted out from the bottom of the spaceship and swooped down. They automatically formed 12 teams and rushed down like a gale. And there were laser beams shooting in all directions towards the Three-Axe Mountain camp, causing them to be in chaos. Block them. Kill them. It's the Black Dragon Mountain people. Kill. Roars of rage resounded throughout the Three-Axe Mountain camp. Even though thousands had died, these 80,000 people were still people who had struggled through the thin line between life and death. Even after suffering such a violent sneak attack, they still quickly stabilized. In the sky, within the universe ship's control room, the 9th Prince Brolin stood coldly within the control room. Through the external simulation, he could clearly see everything that was happening below. The vast 80,000-strong army below, after suffering an attack from 3d6 grade rail cannons, along with the laser beams from the 12 laser guns, especially the 2,000 elite soldiers split into 12 teams, fiercely rushing into the chaotic army, causing the Three-Axe Mountain army to do their best to stop them. Close to 80,000 people, however, they were all spread out. And the 12 elite teams were not afraid of death, with the laser guns opening the way. Only after the 12 people's remains, of course their efficiency was extremely high. Number 1 succeeded. Number 8 succeeded. Number 9 succeeded. Number 6 succeeded. Signals were sent back one by one. The elite teams obtained their quantum computers or space rings and immediately returned. This lightning-fast sneak attack didn't even last more than 3 minutes. The 12 teams swiftly returned to the universe ship, and that universe ship swiftly accelerated, disappearing into the horizon. Large amounts of the Three-Axe Mountain camp's people looked up at the leaving universe ship, letting out angry roars. Within the crowd, Luo Feng and the other 3 were similarly filled with rage. Luckily you have the cloud contact protection, otherwise, that 9th Prince Brolin is just trash, bastard trash. Thunder God was incomparably furious. Almost. Hong's expression was ugly too. This Bu Luo Lin is really ruthless. Luo Feng could clearly smell the stench of blood that permeated the air and land, and the distant battle uniforms, boots and helmets that had fallen on the ground. Within these uniforms and boots were pieces of meat, bones, or a heart-chilling large amount of fresh blood. There were also a large number of corpses from the elite team sent by the 9th Prince. Don't bother so much, we don't have any ideas now. Luo Feng snorted softly. Endure it for now, following the army out is the most important thing. Yes. Hong and Thunder God were filled with anger, but they could only endure it. Looking at the Three-Axe Mountain army swiftly becoming orderly, obviously the death of a few thousand didn't have much of an effect. Luo Feng felt a wave of fear. If that spear had pierced through his head, if it was a normal human, he would have died without a doubt. But the core of his life was the original core of his inner world. Even if his head was pierced through, it could still grow back. If that's the case, then the Three-Axe Mountain army will definitely find out that I, Luo Feng, actually have the ability to not die even after my head is smashed into pieces. It would definitely arouse their curiosity. Even the universe levels, domain lords and sector lords on SwallowedStar are curious about it. Luo Feng's heart was filled with fear. Within the universe ship, we've acquired 7 quantum computers and 8 storage items. The 9th Prince Brolin's face seemed to be covered in a layer of frost, staring at the quantum computers and storage items on the ground, saying softly, "This is your efficiency? Your Majesty." Of the 12 people that were shot by the laser gun, 11 of them died and 1 didn't. After that, when we went to acquire the quantum computers, There were others beside the corpses trying to acquire them too, hence, to be able to acquire 7 quantum computers and 8 storage items is indeed not easy. A bodyguard said. Brolin glanced at him. That bodyguard's body trembled, not daring to say another word. In the future, if you don't do well, don't find excuses, understand? Brolin looked at that bodyguard. Understood. The bodyguard knelt down on one knee. One didn't die, who is it? Brolin asked. Target number 12. The bodyguard replied. Oh. Brolin's eyebrows creased. I remember him. That punk with the universe ship as well. All of you leave. Brolin said coldly. The 8 of them swiftly left. Brolin was the only one left in the control room, after which Brolin squatted down and began to inspect the quantum computers and the storage items. 6 treasures. Brolin didn't care much, instead carefully inspecting the quantum computers. Nothing? You didn't find any records of the password? These AIs, they weren't the quantum computers that went to exchange for the inheritance crystal ball password holders? Brolin's face was ashen, his heart filled with anxiety, after which he furiously stomped on the quantum computers, causing them to shatter. SwallowedStar. In the huge hall at the top of a skyscraper that pierced through the clouds, the 2 Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors Jiang Tianqin and Hargrey sat opposite each other. Hargrey, I'll say it again, if you want the last password then you have to agree to my 9 conditions, not one less. Jiang Tianqin said calmly. You sure are vicious. Hargrey squinted. The 2 warriors stared at each other. I agree to your conditions. Hargrey took a deep breath. Ha ha. Jiang Tianqin stood up, his face full of smiles. Hargrey, it's been a pleasure working with me. Pleasure. Hargrey stood up without much of a smile on his face. Jiang Tianqin's smile was very wide. Don't be so unwilling. You want the inheritance crystal ball, I want these, it's not much. Jiang Tianqin's lips curled into a smile. Also, in the world within a world, one of my soldiers exchanged for the last password, and used the quantum computer. I've already ordered for it to be completely destroyed. I've also sent people to kill that soldier. Hence, in the world within a world, no matter what you do, you won't be able to get the last password. Hargrey's face froze before he squeezed out a smile. Respect, respect. Same. Jiang Tianqin smiled. Prepare everything, I'll give you the password when the time comes. The things you want, I need a month to prepare. Hargrey said. I'm not in a rush. No rush at all, when your things are prepared, I'll give you the password. Jiang Tianqin laughed. Hargrey, then I'll be leaving first. See you out. Hargrey said. Oh. In the hall, there was a flash of lightning, and Jiang Tianqin, who was originally standing in the hall, had already disappeared. Hargrey slowly walked to the huge French window from 800 meters in the air. He looked down at the ancient city below, his eyes cold as a sword. He said in a low voice, Jiang Tianqin, this time I'll let you take advantage of me. In the future, I'll definitely make you spit out everything you've swallowed today. Hargrey's expression was savage. This time he had practically used up all of his assets by Jiang Tianqin. Hargrey angrily snorted. The cold wind blew past and Hargrey also disappeared into the hall. After a while, the door to the huge hall finally opened. 2 attendants walked in looking at each other. The door was locked, the windows were closed. Why is he gone? After flying for about 7 days in the world within a world, they finally passed through the exit, arriving at the Wind and Thunder Canyon of the World of Thunder. After flying for about 7 days in the World of Thunder, the 3-Axe Mountain Army finally arrived at the final exit. The exit at SwallowedStar. However, this exit wasn't as big as the black hole in the Wind and Thunder Canyon. That black hole could allow hundreds of people to travel side by side, but this exit could only allow a few. Shwa. The adventurers became flowing lights and continuously flew towards the exit. This exit is too small. How long will it take for so many people to arrive? Thunder God floated and looked forward. Even though the adventurers' movement speed is extremely fast, it'll take at least an hour for us to arrive, LuoFeng estimated. Even if 10 people charged out in a second, there would only be around 30,000 people in an hour. It's about time for them who were in the middle of the army. We're finally going out. Hong laughed as he sighed. This time sure was mysterious. It was quite mysterious. LuoFeng also laughed. Originally they were going to take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, but who would have thought that they would discover a new world within a world? Immediately, all the adventurers no longer cared about the exam, and all threw themselves into the world within a world to fight for their lives. The world within a world represents a huge amount of wealth. Clearly this time's fight was the right choice. LuoFeng's gains were simply too huge. In terms of wealth, he can compare to a regular sector lord. Of course, he still can't compare to the peak of sector lords like Thunder Sector Lord Kabu, Jiang Tianqin, and Hargrey. In terms of strength, the Cloud Contact Vine also made a huge breakthrough. We have quite a bit of wealth now, but the difference between strength and wealth is too big. Thunder God muttered, we need to increase our strength when we go back. Okay. LuoFeng nodded. As they waited, large amounts of adventurers flew in one by one. Finally it was LuoFeng's turn. Go. Charge. LuoFeng, Hong, Thunder God, and Aogu became 4 flowing lights and swiftly rushed into the waterfall of flowing lights. SwallowedStar Ancient City. That villa specially opened a path in one of the walls, allowing large amounts of adventurers that rushed out of the world of thunder to swiftly fly out. Whoosh. Countless adventurers flew out one after the other. All adventurers gather in front. Those who want to escape, kill. Those who don't obey the manager, kill. In mid-air floated many universe-level warriors, amongst which there was an occasional domain lord. These warriors all stared coldly at the adventurer army that had luckily survived and returned. Angry roars directly entered the ears of every adventurer, causing the adventurer army to not dare to fly around randomly. 30 Look over there. Thunder God who was in the army said in shock. Oh? LuoFeng followed the direction of Thunder God's gaze, only to see that in the distant floating absolute warriors, there was a cold warrior dressed in a dark green battle uniform with pointy ears, Nulan Shan. That Nulan Shan felt someone looking at him, he turned his head and looked, immediately spotting LuoFeng in the crowd.